Welcome to Muddy Prose, where I talk to myself, play in mud, and call it content. My name is Mandy Oliveri, and I throw pottery while reading tiny bites of my current work in progress as I'm writing it. My goal is to engage readers and listeners enough to read my book when published. I'm really glad you're here. My current whip is called Josephine. It's a dark, gritty novel about a woman with a haunted past working for an off-the-books agency. Yes, it's a story about an assassin, but more than that, it's a love story. Josephine Vero meets Danielle Hall, a rogue agent sent to her for reformation. And let's just say it doesn't go by the book. A serious and important heads up before we begin. With regards to triggers, my characters cuss, kiss, and kill. Some have pasts that are difficult, childhood trauma type difficult. While I won't dive into those traumas here, there may be hints and references. This story deals with anger and the complex beauty of human connection, but always, always with an undercurrent of falling in love. Oh, did I mention my characters are also always women who fall in love with other women? One more thing, don't expect spoilers. I'm not here to give anything away. My hope is to spark curiosity and offer a tactile, immersive experience as you watch these stories take shape beside the wheel. Some segments may not make sense, but are something I wrote and felt particularly strongly about. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for joining me. Let's see what we can make out of clay and out of love. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you can be the first to know when new pottery is being made and new segments are being read. Pottery made during the segments will be for sale. I'm currently putting my webpage together, so check back for that as I'll put it in the comments. So now, let's get to the story. Enjoy this segment where Josephine gets called downtown to HQ. Josephine. It had been over a year since I'd been to our headquarters, but whenever one of the agents died, we were required to go downtown to give a face-to-face statement. I'd been enough times and knew the drill. This time, however, none of it felt routine. Anything seem out of the ordinary? The younger, unusually buff man in a tailor-fitted blue pinstripe suit asked from behind a small desk. It all felt so formal compared to my other interviews. Any red flags? Tip-offs? Anything you overheard? Not really, not pertaining to him anyway. He set his pen down and looked at me. No, I continued. There was nothing out of the ordinary with Agent Moody. I got the cue, prepared him, and watched him walk inside. What happened after that? He flipped through his papers. Seems like he aimed at the wrong person. A defensive shot was taken. Wrong person? One of ours? I don't have that information. I knew that was a lie. Yes, you do. Why aren't you telling me? I leaned away from the desk and crossed my arms. You're in a lot of trouble here, Agent. I suggest you answer my questions and not the other way around. My hands pressed onto the table as I stood. Trouble for what? Tell me what happened to my agent, or we're done. The man before me held my stare, and when he decided to speak, was as calm as he had been the entire time. My name is Agent Harris. I'm with the Behavioral Oversight and Evaluation Division. You might remember that we conduct triennial reviews on select agents, you being a select agent. Fuck, I said, plopping back down in my chair. I pushed myself away from the table and crossed my arms again. I'm being reviewed? That's right. Every 3 years, you're assigned someone from the BOED to perform an undercover evaluation of your... Jesus Christ. Of your health, which begins with psychological stability and risk assessment and ends with cognitive function and decision-making. Why wasn't I informed ahead of time? You've been here long enough to know it doesn't happen that way, Agent Vero. I scooted my chair back to the table. The sooner we wrap this up, the sooner I could go back to my apartment and figure out what to do about Danielle. Agent Harris waited for me to still myself. I didn't need some wacko department full of shrinks to tell me where my head was at. I already knew. I'd always aced my evals because I played by the book. Well, up until certain events took place, but they weren't planned. They weren't even pre-planned. I didn't know Danielle was going to show up in my life and wreck it. I held a grin back at the last thought. Agent Moody probably wasn't even dead. He's being removed from his apartment and sent back to his cubicle in the so-called mental audit department, whatever that was. No wonder he was so weird. Okay, I said, giving in. Let's just get this done. You asked if I noticed anything weird about last night with Moody, and I gotta confess, no, it was routine. Give him kudos for me. I had no idea he's one of your guys. I can spot them usually. They're not too comfortable about having to take out a target. Although some of them, I recalled a couple who were unusually at home with the idea, make you wonder how they're working on your side of the desk and not mine. He's not with us. I'm just required to include it in the assessment since as it happened within the time frame of the evaluation, and Agent Hall seems to be MI.